Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see about intellectual property rights. Intellectual property is a category of property that includes intangible creations of the human intellect and primarily encompasses the copyrights, patent rights, and trademarks. Before getting into this topic, I'd just like to start with a quote. Bill Gates states intellectual property as it is the shelf life of a banana because it's easy to see why he feels that way. Microsoft files numerous patent applications each year. If one of them doesn't work out or outdated by the time it comes to the market, there is always another bunch of bananas that haven't spoiled yet. One patent is likely to make a huge difference for a company like Microsoft. Now, coming to the history of the intellectual property rights, the Statute of Monopolies and the British Statute of Anne are seen as the origins of patent law and copyrights, firmly establishing the concept of intellectual property. With the establishment of World Intellectual Property Organization, it has begun to be used in the United States and it did not enter popular usage there until passage of the Bayh-Dole Act. The history of patents does not begin with the inventions but rather with the royal grants by the Queen Elizabeth for monopoly privileges. The Jewish law also includes several considerations whose effects are similar to those of model intellectual property. Now, coming on to the categories of intellectual property rights, as I have before said, it includes patents, copyrights, industrial design rights, plant varieties, trademarks, trade dress, and trade secrets. Now, into explaining the categories, coming on to patents, it is a form of right granted by the government to an inventor, giving the owner the right to exclude others from making, using, selling, offering to sell, and importing an invention for a limited period of time in exchange for the public disclosure of the invention. Coming on to copyrights, it gives the creator of an original work exclusive rights to it, usually for a limited time. Copyright may be applying to a wide range of creative, intellectual, or artistic forms or works. Coming on to the industrial design rights, it protects the visual design of objects that are not purely utilitarian. Industrial design consists of the creation of shape, configuration, or composition of a pattern or color. Coming on to the plant varieties, plant breeders' rights or plant variety rights are the rights to commercially use a new variety of plant. Coming on to trademarks, it is a recognizable sign, design, or expression which includes products or services of a particular trader from the similar products or services of other traders. Coming on to the next category, which is the trade dress, it is a legal term of art that generally refers to the characteristics of the visual and aesthetic appearance of a product or its packaging that signify the source of the product to its consumers. Coming on to the last category, trade secrets, it is the formula, practice, or process which is not generally known or reasonably ascertainable by which a business can obtain an economic advantage over its competitors and customers. Now, moving on to the objectives of the intellectual property law, the main purpose of the intellectual property rights is to encourage the creation of a wide variety of intellectual goods for consumers. To achieve this, the law gives people and business property rights to the information and intellectual goods they create, usually for a limited period of time. Here we have three objectives. financial incentive, economic growth, morality. Now, coming on to the financial incentive, these exclusive rights allow owners of intellectual property to benefit from the property they have created, providing a financial incentive for the creation of an investment in the intellectual property, and in any case of patents, pay associate research and development costs. Now, coming on to the economic growth, the WIPO Treaty and several related international agreements underline that the protection of intellectual property rights is essential to maintaining an economic growth. The WIPO states two reasons for intellectual property laws. One is to give statutory expression to the moral and economic rights of the creators in their creations and the rights of the public in access to those creations. The second is to promote, as a deliberate act of government policy, creativity and the dissemination and application of its results, and to encourage fair trading which contribute to economic and social development. The third thing is the morality. According to the Article 27 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has a right to the protection of the moral and material interests resulting from any scientific, literary, or artistic protection in which he is the author. Although the relationship between the intellectual property and the human rights is a complex one, there are moral arguments of the intellectual property. Now, as an added to this presentation, I'd just like to describe the intellectual property rights through an animated video. Here we go with the video.
Intellectual property rights are about more than just music and movies. They're in everything we do, make, use, eat, buy, and sell. Trademarks, geographical indications, patents, designs, and copyrights all support and promote our industry's economy, jobs, and innovation. IPR play an essential role in half of European businesses. And IPR support 1 in 3 jobs in the European Union. That's over 76 million jobs. IPR-intensive industries pay 40% more than other industries. Altogether, IPR-intensive industries contribute nearly 40% of the EU total GDP. That's 4.7 trillion euros. And that means more money for improving our communities. IPR-intensive industries account for 90% of the EU's trade with the rest of the world. IPR affect our daily lives in more ways than we can imagine. From creativity and innovation, to businesses small and large, to the economy in all member states. We all care about protecting intellectual property, and we can all contribute. Our everyday choices make a real difference.